Okay, let's talk about how to do step one, which is installing the user cabs. So I'm running FM3 Edit. Again, if this is new to you, you need to go look at my old tutorials for Live Gold FM3 or Naked Amps Axe-Fx III, where I walk through all the software suites and what you need to know about FractalBot versus FM3 Edit, etc., etc. All right, once you get this going, you don't have to be on a specific preset or anything like that. Go to Tools and go to Manage Cabs. And this window is going to open up that is your user one slots. I already have some things in here, like some of my Dream rigs are in here, for example, but some of the Naked Amp stuff's in here. But you're going to need slots 50 through 64. That's what we're going to use. 51, excuse me, 51 through 64. And we're gonna fill these very specifically. And you maybe remember that last screen. I'm gonna drag it over real quick so you can see it. Do you remember this from your file under Install First User Cabs? What's beautiful about this is you'll look and notice, and again, I've got a thing that lies this will tell you it says Axe-8, or actually doesn't, but this just tells you exactly which ones go on which one in case you need that. But the reality is the number's already here, U51, U52, U53. So it's this simple. If you have the user cabs open, and again, this is from the user manager cabs, all you have to do is grab all of these and move this to 51, and look at that, it just pops them right in. That's all you have to do. And then, I'm putting this out of the way, you click Save, and it's going to save it. Again, this is from the Tools Cab Manager. It's not looking at it through the actual cab itself. Once you've done that, you're done. Just click Close. So that's how you install your cabs. Really, really simple, really, really easy. So next, let's go to installing the bank, I suppose, and we'll do this in real time, I guess. Just to show you how to do it. And FractalBot, and I'm going to pick my FM3. I've got it in send mode. Now I have to go find the file, right? So that could take me a second. Hi, so we're back, and what I've done is I found the file that is the FM3 Bass TonePack. R means release version. So all I do is I click Open, and then I say begin, and then I have to tell it where I want to put it. Now on mine, I happen to have done everything in bank D for the Bass TonePack because I have Live Gold in A, B, and C. You can put this in any bank that you want. It's going to overwrite whatever's there, but remember, if you use FractalBot, and again, go to my other videos, you can back everything up before you do any of this, and I advise you to do that, and back up to your computer, and you can always pull it back up anytime you want, whatever you back up, as long as you've got the right firmware for it. So you just do that and you click send, and we're not going to watch it all, but it's going to sit here and it'll send it all into the unit. All right, so now we're going to run this. We sent this to D. We're going to run FM3 Edit again. By the way, you should definitely suspend FM3 Edit before you run FractalBot. Don't run them at the same time, or just get out of the program and get back into it. Once you run it again, you may need to click this button here to refresh the preset names. It may need to read them again after you've loaded something. But what we're seeing here are the presets that we loaded starting right here in Bank D. And so this is a little bit of how that's laid out. There are 10 empty presets at the beginning of the bank that you can use. That's where you'll pull your favorites into, for example, as you go through this. And then we start off with the sort of Ampeg SVT amps. And we basically do these in a couple variations by cabs. And we're going to talk about a specific preset in a minute, but I just want to show you the layout. This blue is showing you the different types. There's a lot of Ampeg amps because that's sort of the chicken, as it will, of all bass sounds. This is a good Ampeg SVT. And then there's a dark version of some of the amps which has a little less mids and highs in it, a little more traditional bass versus bass that kind of stands out as its own thing. So we go through the Ampeg SVTs. There's a second SVT channel. I don't use it very much, but I did do presets on it. And then there's the nice B15 Portaflex with the 15-inch speaker. That's in here as well. Then we've got some Fenders, Bassmans. There's a Super. Carol K used a Super. That's pretty great. Some dark versions as well, and as well as an old 59 Tweed. There's some Marshalls plexis that sound pretty great and are essential for some artist sounds. And then I've got some high watt bass sounds. Think of the Who or whatever. These sound great. Do not overlook the high watt as a bass amp. It's pretty awesome. Some Mesa Boogies, both Mesa Boogie amps themselves for bass, but also some of the preamps. So you've got a nice sort of clean Mesa Boogie preamp. And again, paired with a couple of different kind of cabinets for flavor. I did a Gailey and Kruger emulation. There is not an amp model, but I did have access to some Gailey and Kruger types of sounds, and I did a little A-Bing. So I made a couple of adjustments to give you at least some of that. I think it's a tweak on the Mesa Boogie amp, but a couple of things I did. And there's some miscellaneous ones. There's a Dumble style bass amp, which is pretty great. The Fractal Audio bass amp, orange. There's a Tube pre-bass amp. Just a DI, and then I've got a Black Glass Pedal Direct, and then Scott did his own sort of sound. We threw that in there. And that sort of covers what I call the basic bass amp section here, going from the beginning of the TonePack to here. The rest of the TonePack is basically artist styles, and that's what this all covers. And we've packed a bunch of scenes in. They don't do all 8 usually. They only go up to about 4. Some are a little less than that because you can only get 4 channels, 1 amp block, unlike doing an Axe-Fx III, unfortunately. So you can only get that many in these artist styles for the FM3. But there's a great acoustic bass simulation in here. It really works great with the Rickenbacker neck pickup. There's some notes. Every one of these presets is going to have some notes on what it is, what are the scenes, and how to use it, which bass was used, what kind of strings. Do you play with your finger? Do you play with your pick? Do you roll your tone off? Do you roll volume off? How do you blend them? So really good instructions for that. So that's what comes in the bank that you get. It gives you a sense of what's in there. Let's go look now at an actual preset layout in here.